Today we are discussing on the India SME Banking Summit and particularly focusing on the empowering SMEs for better business growth. What is the initiative and action plan taken by the financial institution under the leadership of Sri Rajkiran Raiji, who is the chairman of Indian Banks Association, which is one of the most important association of India, and he is also the MD and CEO of Union Bank of India. He has worked from ground level to upper level. So welcome Raisab for giving very insightful, knowledge or thoughtful suggestion for the empowerment of SME sector. We have very respected my friend Kishore Kharaji, who is a former MD and CEO of Indian Bank, IDFC Bank, and who was also ED of Union Bank of India, who has worked from rural area to urban area, and particularly put efforts for the policy making, putting a lot of efforts for the how SME sector industry can be linked between the this affair. We have Ajay Kumar Singh ji, CGM State Bank of India, who is heading the Maharashtra Circle. Sri Sudhakar Rao ji, General Manager MSME Indian Bank from Chennai, and we have also Vivek Malhotra ji, Vivek Kumar Malhotra ji, General Manager SIDBI. SIDBI is one of the important institution which is supporting interconnecting with the banking sector. Friends, we are all aware that the banking sector has only sector in India after the government has supported Indian industry and SMEs during this pandemic, rather in this difficult situation. We are all aware that after 1991 the globalization impacted our Indian industry, particularly SME sector, because we were not ready to compete or face the challenges during the 1991 when the globalization happened. Second, the 2008 when the subprime crisis was there, and economic crisis was there. That time also SME sector faced a lot problem. They were also not prepared for that time. Now this pandemic has created a huge impact on the not only the wealth but health and people's activity, not moving out, or rather we are doing business from home. All bankers are working from banking sector. We should salute bankers after the medical people. The bankers are working on a forefront for providing value addition services support to the SME sector. First of all, thank you very much to all the bankers for fueling the industry and SME sector on time, in time, and their difficult time. As you said earlier, that rise up that SME sector is very, very vital sector in India, which is playing very important role for economic growth. They are providing large employment, they're putting efforts for the industrial output, export promotion. But somehow, I'm working for last 30 years in this sector and looking at, the particularly linkage between a banking sector and the SME sector is there is a huge gap. Government of India has assumed that there are 7 crore MSMEs in India, and in that, I think 45 to 50 lakh MSMEs are only they enjoying the banking facility. Look at the the emergency loan when we are started disbursement. The banking sector has found that only the 45 lakh up to some companies already enjoying the facility. Why this is a gap? Whether SME sector is not interested to take loan, or whether the formalities and procedure is difficult, or whether SME sector is not ready for any availing the facilities. We are attending a lot of RBI governors meetings, or other finance minister meeting, even bankers meeting. We are inviting a lot of bankers, various bankers at our program to share their thoughts. But I assume that one thing before Raisa, you entered in this platform, we have discussed that if I have a proper proposal, viable proposal, no bank will say no, because banks are ready. Banks are also doing business. They are also ready with the money to invest in any viable business. So therefore, there is a gap. We can accept that a chamber is also playing important role, bringing stalwarts, stakeholders together to creating awareness, acquittance, and mostly the affordable, systematically adoption for their business growth. I would not take much time, because I would like to hear from Raisab what is the action plan created by the IBA because of this pandemic, because after the announcement of 3 lakh crore emergency loan, and after there is also extension given by the RBI. So the point is, why banks are not achieving the target goal. So look at the figure in 2019. Private sector bank achieved 8.34 percentage for the lending towards MSME sector, and it was 2018 March was a 4.3. So upgraded that situation. But somehow the private bank minus 4.69, and they gone to 39 point I think 18%. Foreign bank also earlier there were 33%, they achieved 41%. And somehow the scheduled bank also not achieving the target growth. Similarly, March 2020, the same decline again, and March 2021 is also declining. So why this is happening? So we have some questions. I will not take much time, but I would like to throw some questions for the all the bankers' perspective. Emergency credit loan announced by government. How many MSMEs actually enjoyed this facility? Second is how many total MSMEs are enjoying the facility from the banking perspective. IBA must be having numbers. Last time when the chairman of SBI said they have a 10 lakh member customers, SME customer, they want to enhance up to 20 lakh customers. So we are putting efforts for that. And how many SMEs are not enjoying facility? The reason, because IBA always, whenever they have a any discussion in point of view, or any bankers when they attend, the SME sector, agriculture sector are on forefront. They discuss on that. And as Rai Sahab, you said that earlier that there is a huge gap. So why this is gap is happening? And there are plenty of questions are come. I'm going to share through by email so that we can answer our members. Around say 120 questions we have received today. But somehow credit flow, revival, restructuring, and enhancement of tending towards MSME sector and putting efforts when they are in a difficult situation. Lastly, very important question came up from the around 37 top companies from India, that top companies in the SME sector, that they said we are not achieve our target growth in this 2020-21 as per the prediction earlier or projected there, and they can't achieve the target, or whether their drawing power will continue. They say they don't have a proper stock in their house, in the factory, finished good, raw material, semi-finished goods, whether the drawing power can be continued, and debtors list is declining. Most of the large corporate also not giving a receivable on time, but somehow debtors list also decline. The question largely received by us, that is if bankers can ignore or given the exemption up to 25 crore, or forget a 25 10 crore, that stock statement can be exempted till the March 2022, and stock statement and the debtors list can be exempted till March 2022, then only they can enjoy the drawing power. This is my suggestion, and I welcome on behalf of all the dignitaries at this platform. So I invite Rai Saab, because you are a stalwart, you are the hardcore banker. I always, watch your talk on the CNBC, and so eagerly you say, and openly you say the points, and the what bankers are done and what bank is going to do. That is impressive, and I'm thankful to you for accepting my invitation and sharing this platform. Welcome you, sir. The floor is open for you. Thank you.
My pleasure. A very good evening to everyone. Mr. Chandrakant Salunke, founder and president, Federation of Indian SME Association, members of the association, Sri Kishore Karat Saab, our senior, who was MD CEO of Indian Bank and IDBI Bank, a veteran from the industry, Sri Ajay Kumar Singh, CGM State Bank of India, Sri Sudhakar Rao, General Manager from Indian Bank, Sri Vivek Kumar Malhotra, General Manager from SIDBI, all the members of the association, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Very good evening again. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. There could not be a better group to interact than the industrious people who take risks for the benefit of the society. I thank Federation of Indian SME Association for giving me this opportunity. The COVID second wave has been overwhelming. As COVID cases decline and vaccine availability improve, hope on recovery is firming up. India is counting on innovation and resilience of entrepreneurs to convert challenges into opportunities. Some of the points Salunke Saab raised, many of them need regulatory dispensations. The demands are right, But then one thing I can assure you that the Reserve Bank has very big ears when it comes to MSME issues. But then they respond. But then they respond only when the issues are really put up to them in the right way, and when they realize that it has an impact, then only otherwise, there is always a challenge, what we call the financial sector stability. Now, when you have balance sheets where there are so many dispensations, account continue to be standard without proper provisioning and recognition, then the balance sheet of the banks are under question. So naturally, the Reserve Bank has to play a major role. I fully appreciate and understand your concerns, but the regulator also has a role to play. They have to keep the bank balance sheet sound, because we have a lot of international investors with us. We have rating agencies which are rating us. So naturally, I can't carry portfolios which are restructured without proper provisioning, with whatever demands you are making. You are right in your own way, but then I am also doing business like you. So naturally, I have to carry a balance sheet. So always there is a balance between your demands and what the regulator can give. You should appreciate that, yes, there are challenges. So, and then you are also raising that under ECLGS, what happened? See, under ECLGS, actually, this is, I'll tell you, one of the best interventions anytime happened, particularly in such a distress situation. There will be always exceptions. There will be people who will come up even in this group and come up and say, I didn't get. But then there were more than 90 lakh MSMEs who were benefited. So one of the biggest issues with MSME is data. Today, if MSMEs have the right kind of data, right kind of balance sheet, right kind of GST, and the e-bills and all that, if they are backed by data for what business they are doing, I think there is no problem in taking credit today. It is basically the MSMEs which lack in data, they have a problem. That is one part. I think as a chamber, you are doing your job. Like, I think the government has enabled many things now. So I think you may have to educate people that these are very important for banks to take a decision. Today, when I touch on issues, actually, I will talk about is how the digital enablement is happening now. So people who have the right kind of data, they can get credit online now. So that kind of facilities are there. MSMEs have to also improve. The another major area we face is MSMEs, which are already with the banks and having some credit limits. They're facing problem. I think most of your issues are on that, actually. They're not getting relaxations. They're not getting additional working capital. No, these are areas which are always subject to interpretation. There is a banker's call and there is a need of MSME. It is a challenge which is always in front of us, but how to sort out is something which we have to sit together and work out. So individually, yes, there will be problem. But then if I'm able to address 75-80% of the issues, I think that will be a great achievement for all of us. Maybe we need to engage with the discussion on these issues. So now coming back to the theme, I thought because at 5 o'clock I have to exit because we have a meeting with the government. So I thought some of the points you raised, I will answer first before I get on with my prepared speech. So on the summit theme, that is empowering SMEs for better business growth, initiatives and action plan of financial institutions. It is very topical subject today. I have thus structured my address in 3 parts. I will begin with a brief on role our SMEs play, the imperative to make them gain scale and competitiveness. Second, I will talk about measures to protect SMEs from COVID, including Union Bank's initiatives to empower SMEs for growth. I will conclude by sharing thoughts on future for SMEs as post-COVID opportunity beckons. So SMEs are indeed the bedrock of economic self-reliance. India is home to 6.3 crore micro, small and medium enterprises, which contribute over 30% to the GDP and 48% of merchandise exports. More importantly, MSMEs employ more than 11 crore people. About 50% of the MSMEs are based out of rural areas, which indicate the scope for deployment of significant rural workforce. Addressing scale, productivity, market reach, and credit flow is key to economic sustainability. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the operating environment of MSMEs. It is estimated that nearly 50% of the MSMEs have witnessed a 20 to 50% impact on their earnings due to the disruptions caused by the pandemic. The adverse impact has been more in sectors where consumption spending is discretionary in nature. The recovery appears to be quite uneven. While large firms have shown remarkable resilience, protecting margins by controlling costs, small firms are found struggling. Low demand, lack of manpower, stuck working capital, and lack of promoter savings has led to further stress on output and employment. Going forward, the recovery will vary segment to segment in SME sector, enabling a favorable ecosystem for MSMEs. What is the work being done? The MSME sector is seen as the bedrock for economic revival as per the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. A major structural reform in this direction is adopting a new definition for MSMEs, emphasizing turnover as criteria and raising the investment limits in plants and machinery. It helps address the perverse incentive of enterprises opting to stay small to keep receive policy benefits. Emergency credit line guarantee scheme, as already mentioned, this is one of the real success in ensuring liquidity to enterprises. Actually, the government has realized this, and now we have gone up to ECLGS 4.0. Like this intervention has really reached out to all sectors, and now the latest also on the health sector is one of the very, very welcome moves by the government. The latest guideline enables entities get credit with repayment in 5 years' time, interest only for the first 24 months, and repayment of principal and interest in remaining 36 months. More than 2.5 lakh crore for more than 90 lakh entities have been dispersed so far, benefiting millions of entities. So it is nothing but infusion of equity. 2 years moratorium, only interest payment. That means practically the realization is that the MSMEs are really starving for equity. In a way, it was a equity infusion, nothing but equity infusion. See, there was a challenge in front of restructuring, but everybody was wondering why the MSME restructuring is low, because no MSME person wanted to spoil his credit rating by going for restructuring. What they did, they took this 20% credit line and they came back to normalcy. And I saw in January, February, March, the way the MSMEs bounced back. Yes, there were MSMEs which were affected, but I could see very, very good improvement in collections, lot of improvement in the working of MSMEs. It is very unfortunate the second wave hit us very suddenly in April and May, and otherwise by this time we would be all talking of growth, not about restructuring. But then unfortunate, this has hit us very suddenly. The second wave has impacted, but it was more short-lived. So we hope that with the opening up, what is happening in June, maybe July, August, with most of the MSMEs will bounce back, and then I assure bankers will be always there to handhold the MSMEs which need help. So the second intervention was distressed assets fund, which is called subordinated debt for MSMEs, with guarantee cover worth 20,000 crores to promoters who can take debt from banks to further invest in their stressed enterprises as equity, saving their firm and protecting livelihoods of millions who depend on them. I think, Salunke Saab, this is something which is not being used, because this involves some kind of quality data preparation, because you need to give some structured data here, that how you are going to use it and all that. But then we can always help you, because I can always come back. Today also there are CGMs and GMs from the banks who will talk about this, but then we use your forum to make presentations, maybe make some structured products, so that MSMEs, they really need equity. So now, and this is tailor-made to, because we had a lot of discussions, tailor-made for this thing, but then it needs some kind of data, some kind of support from maybe chartered accountants or people who are aware of the financials, but we can really work on this. This is really underused. We can do that. The next fund of funds, again with a corpus of 10,000 crores is set up, through which government picks up equity stake in MSMEs with growth potential and viability. This is also not being used. The equity infusions lead to increase in size and capacity of the MSMEs, and the revision in the definition of MSMEs correlated to this. I think, see, from the government side, the kind of interventions coming, we are not able to use it. We want simple products, actually, like over the OTC products, what we call. They should walk in, walk away with a check, and that's what people expect. But then some kind of paperwork is needed in these kind of things. But then we are always there. We also have Mr. Vivek from SIDBI, who can really talk on these issues, and they do a lot of hand-holding for MSMEs. We should pick up the right MSMEs who need this help. And when we do this in agriculture, what we do, we identify the progressive farmers in a village, and we help them to go for the best crop, best practices and all that. Then they become a model farmer. Others will watch and follow. Similarly, in MSMEs, in clusters, you have to pick up the best people, do these interventions, and they become a model, so that other MSMEs will come and copy them. I think that kind of structures can happen. That's how the agriculture department is able to do the record production of food grains today, because of this kind of intervention. So MSMEs also have to do that, because see, the ecosystem is being built. MSMEs have to learn how to use this. Instead of only fighting with the banks for more credit, I think maybe you need to use all these systems. And I'm telling you, when it comes to MSMEs, the government and the regulator have the biggest ears to hear you. Only thing is, we have to make our case that it is viable. So ease of doing business, government has taken various measures for ease of doing business, into ensuring participation in government procurements, the TREDS platform for helping MSMEs in realizing their delayed payments. TREDS helps with receivables of MSMEs drawn against buyers get financed through multiple financiers at competitive rates. I met you in one of that platforms when the Honorable PM was there, where it was insisted, it was a direction from the topmost person at that point of time, that all public sector entities also should list in TREDS. But then it has not happened. I think this is the forum you should use, that what is the commitment given and what is not done. Today, if all public sector and other entities come in this platform, I think the receivable management of MSMEs will be solved forever. Your working capital problem today mostly is because of receivable issues, delay in collections, and mostly government, semi-government and other corporates. If all of them are in TREDS platform, your problems are solved forever. So I think that's something which we need to push and get it done. So Champions portal to help MSMEs for finance, raw material, labor, permissions, etc. Samadhan portal to enable MSEs to directly register their cases on the portal relating to delayed payments by central ministries, department, CPSCs, state government and other buyers. We may have cases where it is not solved, but then they are all working, they are being monitored. Sambandh portal for monitoring implementation of public procurement policy for micro and small enterprises in the country. E-marketplace for MSME products, as trade fairs and exhibitions are shut down in times of pandemic. Major e-commerce giants have undertaken tie-up with local MSME producers. Local market. Today, actually, when I buy things from the platforms, e-platforms, there are many. So many of the products which come from MSME, because I always go and check who is supplying it. They come from Nagpur, they come from some other place, These are all MSMEs who are already portals, actually. You should handhold these people who are making these products to this thing, but there is a lot of awareness. The labor market. There are 44 central labor laws which are rationalized into broad 4 codes, namely codes on wages, industrial relations, social security, and operational safety, health and working conditions. These codes are set to promote ease of doing business and instigate investor confidence in MSME sector. Insolvency and bankruptcy. Threshold of default has been raised to 1 crore from existing 1 lakh to prevent triggering of insolvency proceedings against MSMEs. With this, SMEs will not have to immediately stare at insolvency from actions taken by creditor. Reserve Bank has also taken several measures to improve the flow of credit to MSME sector. It has liberalized priority sector norms to incentivize bank lending through NBFCs. The RBI also allows banks for restructuring MSME loan without classifying them as non-performing assets. The Union Bank has taken several initiatives. Union Bank has second largest MSME loan portfolio among public sector banks. The bank today has 22 SME product offerings and schemes to cater to each and every market segment. Moreover, 27 cluster-specific schemes are also in vogue. Financing under cluster schemes ensures ease of access to credit and with attractive features compared to general advances. Availability of timely credit to the business units affected by COVID-19 in a challenging period has been paramount importance to us. To achieve this objective, the following measures were taken by the bank. COVID emergency line of credit. The scheme for existing customers having fund-based working capital limit to meet the temporary liquidity mismatch out of COVID-19 crisis, involving payment for purchase of raw material, statutory dues, salary, wages, etc. This we had launched much before the ECLGS came. This was replaced by ECLGS later. Those schemes modeled in line with the Atmanirbhar Bharat package of government. The schemes include Union Guaranteed Emergency Line of Credit, Union Credit Guarantee Scheme for subordinate debt for MSMEs, PM Swanidhi scheme for street vendors, etc. MSME restructuring guidelines are aligned with the resolution framework for COVID-19 related stress announced for other advances. Other enabling measures included setting dedicated helpline numbers, customer connect through pre-approved SMS and online application facility, digital lending for SMEs. We have actually started digital lending. This has not really taken off because we are on trial run on many cases. Up to 5 crore MSME customer, they can come and do online renewal with us. It is a straight through process. We have also started in principle approval in 30 minutes. It is not PSB 59, it's our own portal. You can just check through your portal. It is there actually, but it's all on trial run at this point of time. But then I think this will stabilize in another 1 or 2 months, where up to 5 crores people, because we want to push everything for an online process and online sanction. If you have proper data like your balance sheets filed with Ministry of Corporate Affairs, GST returns properly filed, you should be able to get a loan pre-approved up to 5 crores in our portal. So in addition to that, anyway, PSB 59 portal is very famous. You all have that. Even though success rates are between 50 to 60% because of certain issues, but then yes, this is really working very well. Similarly, Mudra loans, we have made total straight through processing in 9 centers as of now. We are slowly expanding. And actually one more thing we have done, we have gone for digital documentation with a coordination with NESL. Now it is slowly expanding. These are all on trial run now, so that the MSMEs can do digital documentation, pay stamp duty online. They need not visit the branch. So that kind of thing. For vehicle loan and personal loan, we have already implemented. Slowly we are implementing in Mudra now, and gradually we will expand. These are the things which are happening on the digital side. Then we have established 94 centers, centralized processing centers called Sarals. So see, when I said I am having the second largest MSME portfolio in the public sector setup, you can imagine that Union Bank has done wonderful work in this area. We are really improved on the underwriting processes. So we have also started MSME focused branches. Similarly, way forward, India envisions to create 5 crore additional jobs in the MSME sector in the next 5 years. The target to enhance MSME contribution to the GDP from about 30% to 50%, and in exports from 48 to 60%. Structural reform measures are clearly heading in this direction. Our SME sector should integrate with global value chains to remain competitive, as it offers unique opportunity to become technologically and digitally empowered. The major challenges to connect to the GVC are lack of information, knowledge of markets and quality standards. Cooperation among all stakeholders, including industry associations, is key to make it happen. The need to improve credit flow to SMEs by addressing systemic rigidities with increased availability of data, including GST and income tax, credit bureau, etc. It is now possible to appraise the SME loan proposals expeditiously. Union Bank's digital lending to SMEs is an example. Technology today can help with utilizing unexplored data sources such as digital transaction trails, e-commerce visits, social media imprints, etc. It could help lower the cost of intermediation. To conclude, in every crisis, there lies an opportunity. We have demonstrated our potential with vaccines that can serve the need of entire humanity. We need to replicate this success in other human endeavors. I understand that you have been through a lot of challenges. The pandemic has challenged us like never before. It has hurt us, but not broken our will. We are determined to bounce back stronger, better, and with greater sense of purpose. Trust me, we will emerge stronger. On behalf of Indian banking and finance community, I assure you that funds are never going to be constrained for productive endeavors. I wish you all the success. Thank you. And I request Salunke Saab, my next meeting, already I'm getting call. I'll exit here, but I'll connect with you more freely sometime, because you have sent me a lot of questions. I would like to address all those issues in another forum. Please pardon me now. I need to connect to the another meeting. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much. Thank you for your knowledge sharing. Very interesting. And whatever suggestion you given, definitely I will connect to the SME sector. So friends, this was very, very energetic and a very interesting talk given by Raj Kiran Rai ji. who is heading the IB as a chairman and who is also MD and CEO of Union Bank of India. Nevertheless, we have a stalwart from the banking sector, Kharat Saab and Ajay Singh ji. So I would request Sri Kharat Saab to say a few words.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Salanke. Thank you, Mr. Rajkiran Rai, first of all, for giving such an excellent address. We must put it on record the way he has, narrated the contributions of the banking industry for development of MSME. I spent my 41, more than 41 years in the banking industry, and particularly, I was very much connected when I was in active service with this MSME sector, MSME segment. Now, post-retirement also, in fact, I am very closely associated with particularly small borrowers and MSMEs insofar as guiding them how to get going. And I am also associated with the SME Chamber of India. And Mr. Salunke was graciously appointed me as the chairman of SME sector. So today, when I'm going to talk, let me actually take out a banker from my body and my mind, and let me talk on behalf of SMEs, because after listening to Mr. Rai, suppose if there are, I believe there are a lot of SME participants, SME rather, unit holders also have joined to listen to all of us. After listening to Mr. Rai, I thought I should talk something on behalf of SME, because I have seen whenever we are in the banking sector and banking segment, we continue to actually respond to the targets, and our performances are target oriented. Whenever target is given, we actually live up to the target and we say that we have achieved this target, and we know how we normally achieve the target. Mr. Salunke already gave the data, a little bit of data, that how banks, which banks have achieved targets, which banks have not achieved targets, and what is the target actually given to banks for achievement, particularly MSME segment financing. Friends, one thing which I always say on various webinars, that our country is a capital starving country. We are not having a sufficient capital, and whosoever having capital, there must be hardly 1%, 2% people or the businessmen who are having sufficient capital. Otherwise, when it comes to MSME segment, and we will restrict to MSME and SME segment here, Mr. Rai also mentioned about lack of promoters' capital. Mr. Salunke said that bankers are actually coming forward and helping this MSME segment for development. But what I say is, it's not only the banking segment, but it is the non-banking institutions also, NBFCs and MFIs. They have also played a major role in development of this MSME. As I said, these people don't have sufficient capital to run the business, and therefore the entire their reliance is on the credit. The entire development actually on the debt. And whenever you are doing a business which is actually supported only by debt, and majority of it is a debt. Whatever we look at the contribution, whatever we look at the business size, business component of any business, particularly MSME, you will find that their capital is very less in the business and more is a debt. That is also one more reason why the sustainability of these businesses is always shaky, on a shaky ground. And therefore, when we talk about strengthening this MSME sector, it's not that today we have started looking at it. In fact, whatever entrepreneurship has got developed in this our country, which is actually supporting our economy. Mr. Rai said it is the bedrock of our economy. That's a fact. But it has got developed over a century. It has got, particularly if you start looking from even independence, that data. In fact, most of the bankers who are sitting here, these banks are centurion banks. They are, except few banks which were started post independence. So banks have been supporting this MSME sector, but still, after centuries, after 50, 60 years, also MSMEs are not on their strong footing. That is because there is some kind of divide, some kind of gap between what we as a banker think and what actually these people are suffering. Now, coming to this kind of pandemic situation. All these years, as I said, we developed this entrepreneurship in our country, and suddenly this unprecedented pandemic which has come, it has hit so badly to MSME segment that the government of India has very rightly taken the steps initially only, supported very adequately by Reserve Bank of India by creating the liquidity to support this segment. But even then, it is very difficult for particularly MSME sector to actually face these challenges. And what is said, and Mr. Salonki must be having a proper data, what people talk about is out of whatever MSME figures which are coming, which are available, official figures which are available, 30 to 40% MSME are actually posing a threat of permanent shutdown. If it happens, it is going to be a very, very critical and very difficult situation for all of us. So survival of MSME is very much essential. If we are talking it as a bedrock of our economy, we need to see that how these economies, how these SME units are survived. And when SME units are put up, whatever capital is available with these businessmen, with these small scale industrious people, it's all entire families' money is actually put up. So therefore, when they close down or when they are in difficulty, the entire family and most of the dependents, if we are saying 11 million employees are there, most of the employees are today facing challenges on their income levels as well as challenges on their survival itself. Therefore, as a banker, I will say, Mr. Chandrakant earlier said, Mr. Salonki said that there has to be a regulatory view has to be taken. Now, during this pandemic, so many challenges have been thrown up. Whatever regulations we brought in our country, it was required for the financial discipline in our country, and therefore we really, we really all the banks developed very well. Our balance sheets actually shaped up very well. But look at, because I joined banking in the 1977. This IRAC norm, that is income recognition and asset classification norms, came much later in 90s. Prior to 90s, when we were doing business, perhaps these IRAC norms were not there, but we were actually supporting, we were doing a lot of hand holding to our borrowers, and we were trying to bring them back into proper shape. Today, what is happening? Because of these regulatory norms, many times bankers are having their hands tied. Technically, you are required to downgrade the accounts if those accounts are not in order. And therefore, when you are downgrading the account becomes NPA. Today, the situation is no banker will come forward to support the NPA account because of, again, so many apprehensions and issues which are actually seen there in the industry. I would not like to narrate all of them. As a bedrock of our economy, we need to look at this, problem that we need them and we need to see that they are survived. And therefore, if required, we need to relax regulatory norms. If earlier regulatory norms were not there before 1990s, these businesses were thriving. Afterwards, regulatory norms came. I agree with Mr. Rai that we need a balance sheet because there are investors, there are global rating agencies who are looking at us. But then our economy also need to be survived. We cannot just look at only because my balance sheet is actually need to be seen properly. Therefore, I need to adopt regulatory this one. I'm there with you. We must adopt. But I'm saying if regulatory relaxations are given today, receivables 160, 180 days, 270 days, even 1 year, people are not getting receivables. I have seen because I interact with many people because of this working capital norms. Now, Reserve Bank of India has said in their package 2.0 that you can rework the working capital requirements of this MSME segment. But again, if we look at only from that point of view that, okay, these receivables will be, means when we are talking about working capital cycle, if we look at similar ways of calculating the current assets and current liabilities, I am sure it is not going to help them. That is that today many MSMEs are feeling helpless. The emergency credit line, when it came, all of us were expecting that within 2 to 3 months, it will all 3 lakh crores will get over. But it did not get over. People are not coming forward. Bankers started saying there is no demand. When I spoke to various, because as I said, I also on the various bodies of MSMEs and small borrowers, those borrowers tell me, sir, what I will do taking this additional loan. If my business is closed down, actually it is going to create additional burden on me. And unless business starts, unless I get earning, so there are many times people are talking about not availing this one. Restructuring, when we do the restructuring, again, if we are doing the restructuring only for, let's say, 1 year, 2 year, it's not going to help them. So therefore, some kind of deep restructuring has to be done for this MSME segment. We need to see what are actual their issues, and we have to better our rules, regulations, our policies wherever required, because their survival is very much essential for our economic development. If our economy is actually requiring a credit deployment, if you look at last 2 or 3 years data, our credit deployment, credit growth actually is decelerating, and it has settled down for last almost more than a year, around less than 6%. Now, a economy like ours, if it is growing, its credit growth is less than 6%, then it's really a worrisome factor how our economy will actually develop. And when you particularly look at the credit growth in the MSME sector, I think except for these targeted lending through Mudra or the emergency credit lines, the credit growth on its own, if it picks up, good old days, just few years back, 3 years, 4 years back, the same banks were having credit growth in MSME up to, there used to be a competition between the banks of showing double digit, like not only double digit, more than 20%, 27%. The banks which I myself headed, IDBI Bank and Indian Bank, we used to have anything between 27 and 30%. Fortunately, Sudhakar Rao is there from the Indian Bank General Manager. He knows it. MSME, we were deploying credit at almost 30%. But if some banks today are, not deploying in some of the public sector growth, we at 1% and 2%, I would not like to name them. This is all there in the public domain. How can we expect the economy to grow when your credit growth is 1% and 2%? One notion comes from the banker always is there is no demand. Yes, I agree there is no demand, but you need to give confidence to these MSME people, entrepreneurs, that yes, banker will give credit. They need money. On one side, they are starving for money. On other side, we are saying there is no demand. We need to actually look at the ground level situation, and for the sake of development of our country, we need to look at these problems very minutely, devise our policies, devise our regulations according suitably, so that there will be a proper support to MSME, and not through only the datas which we are submitting to the governments. I stop here because there are many working bankers here. You can ask various questions to them, and in between, if you need anything, I'm here available.
Sure. Thank you very much. Rather, I appreciate your thoughts, because earlier you were sitting in our next opposition side. Now you are sitting with us. So experience from that side to practical experience on this side will be definitely useful for the improvement of the SME sector, rather to giving a proper handholding and guidance and awareness program for SME perspective. Friends, we are working for last many years. Chamber and association putting a lot of efforts for bringing the stalwarts, bringing the thought leaders, and bringing the regulatory bodies together to sharing their knowledge and education, particularly for the SME perspective. And I observed that many SMEs are not aware about, say, a particular product, particular importance of the product, or how to use that product. There is a lack of awareness, there is a lack of information, there is a lack of connectivity also. But nevertheless, when let me give one example. When I was inaugurating the ICBC Bank, the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China in Mumbai, 2011, the chairman said that our interest to secure the interest of the Chinese SME sector. And the chairman said we have a 98% MSMEs from our customer base, and beyond on that customer base, we are doing business with the world market. So I think you are aware that the ICBC Bank is one of the fourth largest bank in the world, and I was inaugurating in Mumbai. So I was shocked that the bank is focusing more on the particular SME sector, and therefore, as a president of SME Chamber of India, they invited me to inaugurate the bank. So similarly, in India, we have a SBI. SBI, which is playing very, very important role, and SBI is putting efforts for the giving the lot of hand-holding and support to the MSME sector, not only large industry, but SME sector overall. So Maharashtra is one of the number one leading industrialization, and particularly putting the efforts for the growth of nation by way of industrial output, revenue generation, export promotion, export contribution. And today we have Ajay Kumar Singh ji, which is important person for the SBI point of view and industry point of view rather, which is heading the Maharashtra division, Maharashtra region. And I would like to invite him to share his thoughts because already we are working with SBI more than 1991, 92 onwards, and I work with us all the chairman and MDs, those who have worked with the bank, and rather we are very much keen to understand the new strategy because it's the pandemic, everything has changed. Mr. Rai said, they look at the balance sheet to the presenting balance sheet to RBI. So SME sector is looking at to improving their balance sheet to avail more financial support, more financial facility for the bank. So the same way, when you are working with the ground level, when you're meeting the Maharashtra businessmen or the particularly the rural area, what is your experience and what is your thoughts particularly, and what you want to give a message to the MSME perspective? So Ajay Kumar ji, the floor is open for you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So respected Mr. Chandrakant Salunke, author and President, Federation of Indian SME Association, Mr. Kishore Kharath, Mr. Sudhakar Rao, Vivek Kumar Malhotra, and others who are present over PC and webinar. So, Mr. Rajkiran Rai has given a full perspective about the MSME in details, and whatever points he has touched, that shows the concern not only from the MSME side, but also from the banker side and from the regulator side. Mr. Kishore Kharath here also raised so many issues regarding the problems being faced by the MSMEs and also various guidelines. In fact, the MSMEs, there is no doubt about the importance of MSME. Everybody will say for hours about the importance of MSME in terms of the economic development, in terms of the employment generation, and which ultimately lead to the growth in the GDP. So there is no doubt about it. But I personally feel that MSME not only have faced these problems, various problems, whether it is pandemic or before pandemic, they have always faced so many problems, and it is the combined effect of the bankers as well as the regulators and governments that we take from time to time to resolve those issues. So these issues are paramount in nature, like limited capital and knowledge. So some of the challenges, this is before pandemic, I am saying, like limited capital and knowledge, then low production capacity, non-availability of suitable technology, and ineffective market strategy, cost factor, that is a very important factor, and follow up with various government agencies. Still, we don't have this single window concept where all problems can be resolved for these MSME entrepreneurs. Then their resources are limited, and of course, adequate and timely bank finance needs to be provided to them. So these are the basic things still persist. And unless we resolve these issues, the MSME growth, as per our expectation, will be a challenge. So, but for the last 1 year, what we have realized that after this COVID-19 pandemic, the single largest challenge is in the form of this lockdown and halting of activities. So the entire MSME is passing through a very challenging phase, and many turn into NPA because their production has stopped, their goods they cannot sell outside, they cannot send it outside, and as a result, although we have given them working capital, because the primary requirement is to provide working capital. So in the last year 2021, what we have when we have started giving working capital in the form of these various credit line limits, many of them have come forward and they have taken that limit with the hope that once they will start the activity, it will they will flourish further and they will be able to recover the situation. So, and they have many of them have done this also because once the lockdown was over and the market has opened, they have started reproducing the products and goods, and they were trying to regain this capacity. But the second wave of this COVID, now this has completely broken them. Now again the same situation, although not like the first one, but the uncertainty is continuing. So in my view, the foremost important is the revival of these MSME units, because unless we revive these units and they will start functioning, they will not be successful. So the first step towards the revival is providing this working capital to the entrepreneurs, because unless they have this money, they can't start this work. SBI is always pioneer in providing finance to these entrepreneurs, and this first common COVID emergency credit line we have launched before the government have given this GECL, and under this we have given 10% of the total exposure to the bank, and that has been delivered. So subsequently, this GECL 1, 2, and now this GECL 3 has come. So they have given the working capital and they have started working on it. But because of due to this second wave, now they are facing a severe problem. So now the only option what we find, and we are working on it also, that is the restructuring of these loan accounts. Since all MSME were in stress, restructuring is one of the best option to defer these current liabilities towards the bank and utilize the resources into production and sale of goods. In Maharashtra state, outside this Mumbai metro area, what we have analyzed, we have analyzed this total number of MSME units. It is around more than 20,000. And out of that, we have put into three buckets: above 50 lakhs, 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs, and less than 10 lakhs. And we have identified each unit granularly, and we are in contact with them, and we are restructuring these units. And we have, as per the RBI guidelines, we are restructuring. Moratorium is being given up to 2 years, where principal as well as interest moratorium is there. We are creating FITL accounts. Then irregular portion is being carved out of the working capital term loan. And after carving out of this FITL and working capital term loan, the remaining working capital limit at the existing sanction level, these can be renewed or enhanced as per the requirements, and we are giving the limits to the MSME units. So we are focusing on restructuring of these MSME units. So far, we have out of this, we have started, in fact, last 1 week ago. So we have identified these MSME units. We are be in touch with them, and my entire team is working for this restructuring part. And so far, we have crossed 1,000 in last 1 week. And I am sure that by the end of this week, our number will be sizable, and this will definitely help each and every MSME unit. So in my view, this revival is required, and the one way, and that is the best way in the current scenario, is the restructuring of these accounts. So we are focusing on restructuring, and at the same time, if any unit wants enhancement for the continuation of their work, so then we are working on it. We are sanctioning the further enhanced limits, but we are giving this, we are trying to reduce their liability so that they can focus on their production activities and they should not feel stressed. So, and in my view, with this restructuring, we will be able to help them out, and I am sure this pandemic will be over by next month, because now cases have come down, so things are opening up. The lockdown is being opened, so this will definitely take them to the further growth, and economy will get a boost, and also we will be able to put them whatever requirement is there, we will be able to provide them. So thank you.
Thank you, Singh Saab. Very, very interesting and very useful information you have shared. Rather, the SBI has always forefront for, handholding or creating some different type of products and in the vacuum for a particularly industry and banker point of view. There is some questions and there is some requirements come up from the rural area when we had a interaction with the chairman SBI. That time, many SMEs from the rural area they approached. They said, when we submit our proposal, particularly for Vidarbha or Kolhapur region or Konkan region or even Palghar region, as a smaller town, smaller cities, a smaller village, they said they are taking around say 45 days to 2 months to give an answer, and it takes long time for giving the approval or the even though rejection answer. Can we do some good mechanism where at least seventh day that SME owner will understand or will get the information that his proposal is going to sanction or his proposal is under process or his proposal is rejected. How we go to the doctor say go to a do diagnosis, blood test करो ये करो फिर उसके बाद वो decide कर लेते हैं. वैसे at least lacking of that entrepreneur, lacking of that company or lacking amongst that company's growth, can the bankers can issue the letter that this is your proposal, this proposal rejected for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons, and next time when you submit the proposal, rectify this system and come back to it. Sing some.
Yeah, I don't think any proposal is being kept for more than 30 days or something, because we have specialized units, those who are only working for SME sanction and all. And these units have specialized persons, those who have already worked in SME business and all, and they are working on it. So our endeavor is to clear it is as fast as possible. Maybe 1 week is too short, but we are clearing in it 2 weeks time. And obviously, whenever any proposal, the first thing, chances of returning is very less. Once it is, even if it is returned, it is returned only when there is no activity. Suppose MSME is unit has abandoned the activity, there is no stock or there is no machinery, then only in that case it can be rejected. Otherwise, our full endeavor is to support the MSME units and get sanction the loan immediately or restructure so that their stress could be reduced. So, we are doing it through our specialized units. We call it SMECs and RACCs, etc. And they are spread across the state. So, my request to if any such entrepreneur feel any such type of treatment, then they can contact us. We are very much
Sure,
open.
sure.
Our mail ID, our contact numbers are there in every branch. They can directly call to us also. So it
Sure.
will be taken care. So that should not be a problem.
The reason is, the Mr. John Wall, SC John Wall was a CGM of the SME business unit, and we have decided to organize some specific program for rural entrepreneurs. So I suggest, since you are there now, I will tell Mr. Mahesh Kumar to coordinate with you to prepare something, where we can support the rural, because we talk sometimes, policy matter. We talk about, different. Let us focus more on the rural area. So that is the point. So where we can also work together in a particularly segment like a lead bank is there. Mr. Karad is also, can give value addition services in that where we can develop. Yes, Karad sir.
Solanki sir, I just wanted to bring one point here that banks are actually, sincerely and religiously doing restructuring. What is required at this moment for MSME people is they need additional funding. And when we did survey on another platform and where people, particularly small borrowers also were saying, sir, we need fund and banks are reluctant to give additional funding. Restructuring, yes, as per the regulatory guidelines, whatever are there, restructurings banks are doing. And today, in fact, one of the large client also I was talking is a large segment client. he was also complaining the same thing, sir. My one-time restructuring is done, but I am not getting additional funding support, which is required very much at this juncture for me. So MSMEs are, in a catch-22 situation. Like, you have done the restructuring, but then I am still that my debt still remains unsustainable even post restructuring, because I need additional funding to improve my cash flow. So that needs to be addressed. That's why my simple suggestion.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Singh sir. Thank you very much. Now coming back to our bank, Indian Bank. It's our bank.
Thank you.
We are using Indian Bank's platform for many years. When Mr. Kharat was there, I think when Mr. KC Chakravarti was there, from that day onwards, regularly we are interacting with your bank. So, the Indian Bank is, particularly from the South India region. Now you are expanding your wings through the, Allahabad Bank also merged with you. So, Mr. Rao, what is your perspective, particularly what is the initiative you have taken since your MD and CEO, Madam Padmajaji, she has a vast knowledge from the big bank to, she's putting efforts to, improve the facility and facilitation for the industry and SME perspective, or rather, large perspective. So what is your views and what is your, suggestions for the, in SME perspective? Now, sir, welcome to our platform.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So first of all, respected Kishore Karat Saab, Rajkiran Rai Saab, and Shatakant Salunke Saab, then Ajay Kumar Singh, CGM, State Bank of India, and Mr. Vivek Kumar, GM, SIPI. Really, I am thankful to this SME, India SME Banking Summit for giving this opportunity to us, to me. And sir, here, before going to the details, just a few words about the empowering SMEs through improved financial access. Of course, the topic is also same we are discussing. So here, just a few things, just we want to, I want to just our sir was also telling. See, MSMEs is not new to us. That's what the sir was telling. Since the day I joined the bank, we are working. But at that time, people were calling MSMEs as SSIs, small scale industries, SIC industries, rehabilitation. So the words are changing, but the activity is same, and the state of affairs are also more or less same. So lot of things are to be done for the MSMEs.
And mindset of the SME is also same.
Yes. And it is going to be the same. It is going to continue like this, because this is predominantly it's an unorganized sector. That is the main drawback. Our Rajkiran sir also was telling data. See, the data, whatever you call, that is the weak point of the MSMEs. They cannot provide, because he is the all-rounder. He is one and only one person who has to take care of the production, who has to take care of the marketing, who has to complete this paperwork, whatever bankers and all are asking. So it is this will continue for some more days also. So what steps we have taken also, all those things I will just narrate. So before that, this micro, small MSME enterprises play a critical role in our economy. They are the most significant contributors to the employment, GDP contribution and all. See, all these things are absolutely, there is no second opinion. Then what are the alternate channels? Now banks are financing. Of course, banks means public sector banks, private sector banks, now small finance banks. Then NBFCs, slowly they have increased their share in this lending landscape. Definitely, it is what sir was telling. See, year after year, the PSB's share is coming down. It is really a disturbing trend only, because this is the hardcore fact. And simultaneously, the NBFCs and MFIs, they are increasing. So that's a good thing somehow, but the cost of credit is the matter. See, if they go to NBFC and MFIs, definitely the cost of credit will be high compared to our public sector banks, to some extent private sector banks. So that is the difference. But so what is to be done? See, there are three things I can just throw some light. This is credit information companies. See, Earlier, there was no credit history. See, when we joined the bank during early 90s and all, there were no credit information companies, no CIBIL report. We used to send one credit report we used to prepare. We used to inquire with local people, how is this fellow, what is to be. This is the way we have. Now that problem is not there, because I think slowly the credit information companies' role in India is, to some extent, it is strengthened. So now credit history has to be built up for all the MSMEs, because that is the data. So by seeing the credit score, the days are coming. By seeing the credit score, we can sanction the loans instead of collateral based loans, instead of this inquiry processing, lot of processing and all. So you can keep all those things aside. Just by seeing the credit information score, we can sanction up to some extent, not higher loans, at least up to some 2 crores and all, we can sanction based on the credit history. Then of course the secured lending, that's anyway it is there. Secured lending means here not necessarily collateral lending. See, securities means here stock and book debts also security. These are called primary securities. Similarly, equipment and machinery is also security for us. And then of course land and building, this is normally land and building is will not be available for most of the MSMEs. So there should be an organized way of doing the things, handling these hypothecated assets. Now, thank God, the system is in place. CERSAI is there. CERSAI, we can register our interest in a CERSAI platform, both for immovable and movable properties. So that is also put in place. And legally also, that is, transparency is there and priority is also there. Once we register in a CERSAI portal. I'm talking about the plant and machinery and goods only, not immovable properties. Immovable properties also is there, and movable properties also provision is there in the Act. Then third is insolvency practices. So in India, we know insolvency practices, it's only late entrance. So thanks to the government, recently they have passed the MSME pre-pack. Bill has been passed. Already various with IBBI, we are having a lot of workshops every day. We are interacting and we are understanding the model, and definitely this is going to be a game changer for the MSMEs in the country. That much I can assure. Then coming to our the main this thing, MSMEs and all. Sir, Indian Bank, I have seen recently Bank of Maharashtra at the time of releasing their financial results and subsequent days, they have come out with analysis, comparison. So there I have seen MSME growth. Of late, it is our Karatsa was, when SAR was there, it was around 27 to 30%. So we never forget his regime in Indian Bank. That is that is a separate topic I can. So the growth also has come. Growth. Then here MSME growth this year, ours is second position. Indian Bank is number 2. First is Bank of Maharashtra. As per the comparative figures released by Bank of Maharashtra, our growth percentage is 16% only this year, but ours is the second among all the other public sector banks. Bank of Maharashtra is slightly high, around 25% they have registered as per that. Then the important changes made by the government of India, sir, Udyam registration certificate. This is like an Aadhaar for individuals. See how you and I have an Aadhaar. To open a bank account, Aadhaar is compulsory, more or less it is compulsory now. So in a similar way, Udyam registration certificate is compulsory for all MSMEs, whether it is micro or small or medium. Whether he is availing loan of 10,000, 25,000, this Udyam registration certificate is compulsory. So we, number of times we requested the ministry also, secretaries of also MSME, sir, these are all micro enterprises, where from they will get the URC. It is, they don't know how to operate this phone also, OTP, ETP and all. Only one answer what government was telling, see, all along they are in the informal segment. Now we want to bring them to formal sector so that some concessions, something can be done. So long as they are in the informal category, it is very difficult to the government also to assess how much is there and all. So URC, they have made it compulsory. Now we are also driving all. Even for the restructuring also, RBI has made it compulsory. That is, obtention of URC is compulsory even for restructuring of the advances, RF 2.0. Now coming to Atmanirbhar package, our Rai Saab has told, and this is very excellent GECLS 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Now add-on also they have given 10% more they have given, and 4.0 also they have given for putting the oxygen plants and all. See here, what is the difference between 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 and how it is easy? See, 1.0 is very much friendly for the MSMEs because no paperwork is involved, just eligibility as on 29 to 20. If it is SMA 0 or 1, yes, they are eligible. They need not submit any paper, nothing, 20% will be given. So no questions, and appraisal was not there, just the same day we have released. Even 1 crore, 2 crore also we have released. Then 2.0, that is only restricted to certain sectors. As per Kamath committee, whatever the 26 sectors, that is. Then 3.0, they have identified some stress sectors like relaxation sector and tour and travel sector and entertainment sector. There it is also very good. Another 20% we are giving, particularly the hotel, restaurants, tour and travel and all, another 20%. That means first 20% and second 20, total 40% they are getting. Then 4.0, yes, it yet to pick up, but this add-on, what they have given additional 10%, though they have given those who are eligible, the first 20%, they are all eligible, they have told, but subject to restructuring of the account. The precondition is we have to restructure his account. Unless and until we do the restructuring, this additional 10% cannot be given. Then again, for the restructuring, everybody will agree some paperwork is required. Some paperwork projections, small way, not big way. So for this also, I thank SIDBI. SIDBI has come out with a web-based portal. Do it yourself. Do it yourself. One, they have developed one web-based application. In that, borrower himself can enter all the figures and generate the projections and give. So we had an MOU with SIDBI, and that portal is readily available in their portal as well as in our Indian Bank portal also. So whoever is willing, they need not go to any chartered accountant and all. If they have a small little knowledge, and your association also can support them, so they can open, they can use that do-it-yourself portal, and the required paperwork can be done, and it can be given to the branches for the restructuring. Our sir was talking, so just mere restructuring will not be helpful for the MSMEs. Yes, sir, definitely reassessment of working capital. That is another thing they have given. RBI has provided that. And Indian Bank, we have issued a very detailed circular. We have given a separate product code also, how much they are eligible, reassessed. After reassessing the working capital, suppose they are already enjoying a limit of 50 lakhs. During our reassessment, if they are eligible for 75 lakhs, that 25 lakhs we are giving as an additional dose. So for that, we have developed a separate product code and very detailed circular we have given to the field level functionaries, and it is available in our website also. So thereby, so then how to assess reassessment of working capital also? While doing that, we very clearly we told, see, last year 2021 year, it is like a 0 year only for every one of us, because absolutely there are almost 6 months lockdown, no activity was there in the country. So last remaining 6 months also, a lot of issues were there. So we told, audited balance sheet of 2021, you please ignore. You need not if you calculate based on 2021 balance sheet, all the financial covenants, you will not be qualified for further loan. So we told 2021 balance sheet you ignore. 1920 you take, and 21-22 projections you take. Based on that, you please reassess the working capital. Holding level of the stock, receivable, the period of receivables. Normally we used to take 90 days only, we will be eligible for a DP normally. Now we enhanced that 90 days to almost 1 year. Up to 1 year we have given. So up to 1 year receivables also will be counted for calculation of the drawing power. So these are all the things we have given to the field. You see, it is not that my power proposal has to come. We have enabled all these things in the RF 2.0 circular, and all these details have been given to them. And reassessment of working capital and working capital term loan, some our earlier speakers carved out. WCTL we have to carve out. Wherever the stock is completely exhausted, the existing working capital limit, you convert into working capital term loan. Again, reassess the working capital and you sanction the fresh working capital. Similarly, FITL we have given. That is, what is FITL? Up to 2 years, interest need not be recovered. Of course, justification is required. It cannot be given to each and every one. Justification is required. Why he is asking for 2 years holiday period, even for interest servicing also. That is also there. Provision is there, but justification is required. Why it is required for that MSME, even interest also will not be. So like this, we have given a lot of relief measures. Then 2 more things just I want to cover, sir. One more interesting question has come. See, every bank has 25. I am also having 25 products, MSME products, all are available in website. And how our poor MSME will come to know that Indian Bank is having all A, B, C, D, E and all? How they come to know? Yes, every bank has its own strategies. We will be displaying banners. We will be putting some scrollings in our branches and all. So now we have taken additional step that is called MSME Prerana. That is, it is not a financial support. It's not a financial sanction. It is a non-financial support to MSMEs. Non-financial support. What is it? We will be teaching them what is the balance sheet, what is credit debit, what is the asset liability, why current ratio should be 1, why your debt equity ratio should be this, what is the implication, why your creditor period. So all these whatever analysis we are doing, we will teach them in vernacular language online. So all our existing MSME customers, we are doing it. For women and for SC/ST customers, it is free of cost. For others, for a nominal fee, we are charging, and we have already started in Tamil Nadu. We have completed in Uttar Pradesh. Completed means we have done in UP also, and I am very happy to share with you. Just today morning only, we have taken the permission of our Honorable MSME Minister Sri Nitin Gadkari ji. 28th, SAR is going to inaugurate this vernacular business mentoring program, online classes to MSMEs in vernacular language in Maharashtra. From Delhi office, SAR will be participating on 28th. This is the, see, nobody, see, here it is not a financial support. Nobody has asked us to do also. On our own, we want to improve this financial literacy skills among the MSMEs. It has to be improved, so that the paperwork they themselves will be knowing. They need not depend on the auditors to some extent, at least. So why sales should be grown every year after year? Why profit should be shown? So all these ratios, why ratios? Rating, what is the importance of rating? The pricing, everybody will ask, sir, you reduce my rate of interest. So there are some points which normally a banker or anybody will see before giving the final rate of interest. So all those things, even that entrepreneur also is supposed to know. Then only he will be doing. He will be improving his balance sheet, and he will become eligible for final rates year after the year. So this is education. We have one thing. I'm taking a lot of it. Startups. See, we have this year launched one new scheme called Ind Springboard. That is financing the startups. See, a lot of startup companies are there, and we have made in such a way the product. I think if you take any balance sheet of the startup company, no ratio will tally with our financial policy guidelines. All will be deviations only will be there naturally. So we have developed in such a way that up to 10 crores, we don't look into the financial ratios also. So we had a tie-up with all the IITs, IIT Madras Incubation Cell, Chennai Angels, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and next week we are going to do with the IIT Bombay and IIT Guwahati and IIM Bangalore. All these things we are going to sign the MOUs. They will be sponsoring the applications to whomsoever they have incubated. They will be sponsoring the applications. We are financing them without any insisting for any collaterals, without insisting for balance sheet ratios, financial covenants as per policy guidelines and all. So this is the new product, another new product we have started financing the startups. Probably in the coming years we will take it forward, and large segment of the startups will be benefited. Sir, with this I just conclude. I took a lot of your valuable time.
So, Sudhakar Raoji, you had given very, very interesting information. Rather, Mr. S.S. Roy from Mumbai region was earlier we discussed about this launching the Prerna in Maharashtra and language, but I think he is transferred to Bhubaneswar, looks like. So anyway, very interesting information. Whatever you said about startups or particularly giving the hand holding to SME sector for creating awareness about the advantages, what are the system, what are the formalities, what is the compliances part, that can be done jointly because we have a large number of members in India.
Yes.
And we have the platform, say like a SME Finance Facilitation Center. We have a SME Business Management Institute. We have a Startups Council of India. We have Women Entrepreneur Development Council, one division. So through that, we can make a planning, we can do something. Rather, I can connect with you more than at least 100 startups from they are looking and they are providing support to the manufacturing industry. See, usually we feel that startup means one person, one laptop, and one business. Here we are focusing more on startups. Those are having caliber, those are having a technology, and those are having knowledge and education, particularly experience, to provide support to the manufacturing, because value addition is most important. Not only just technology based platform they can do, but here how they are putting efforts for productivity and quality improvement, and the developing the best services. That is my interest. So definitely we can work on other offline, we can connect tomorrow, we can discuss on this matter. Even I will also request madam also to do that. Even 20th we have also received the information from the Delhi office that 20th there is a program Mr. Gadkari is addressing. So that we will also support it, because we have a Marathi Chamber of Business and Industry. And we have more than, Mr. Kharat knows that we have more than 79,000 members in that. So we can bring a lot of members on that.
Yeah, we will be forwarding
bring them on the platform. If it is in Marathi or English, we will bring them on a platform. You send me details, or Mahesh Kumar will be in touch with you. We can support you to make the program very grand success. So friends, this is a very interesting talk given by Indian Bank. Rather, this is our bank and a very respectable bank, and they are understanding the pain points of the SME sector, how the State Bank is doing. So similarly, we want to bring in Vivek Malhotraji, who is putting efforts for the improvement of the platform, particularly for collateral free loan, venture capital, giving the handholding to the banking sector, being as an institutional partner, institution like to bringing the both regulators, even service providers and takers also. So both the way they are playing very, very important. So Vivekji, the floor is open for you to share your thoughts and knowledge, particularly benefit of the SME sector. Malhotra sir.
Thank you, Salunke ji. Good evening to all the dignitaries on the panel present, and good evening to all the members which have joined from all over India, either in this conference or through the Facebook page or through YouTube. I think Salunke ji, you are doing a very, very important event today, because as the economy opens once again, I think micro, small and medium enterprises would have to reorient their strategies and would have to think that how to make use of this unlock and restart their business. I think I will, everyone has presented what, what government has done and what they are doing. I will take a slightly different topic and I will do a projection in future. All of us know that government wants to make India a USD 5 trillion economy by 2025. And if this, if India has to be made a 5 trillion economy by 2025, one thing is very clear that MSMEs have to increase their share of gross value added to GDP as a percentage. They have to increase their exports. And for increasing everything what we are talking, credit is required. As on date, the credit which is available to MSMEs in India as of December 2020 was 16.686 lakh crores as on December 20, and I'm sure that it would have remained same and now it would have gone down a little. Now we have a study from Pricewaterhouse which says that by 2025, the MSME credit supply would have to reach 61 trillion rupees, which means that 61 lakh crores from 16 crores, it will have to reach 61 trillion or 16 lakh crore, which all of us know is not possible, is actually not possible. Actually, if we have to, sort of make this happen, then we have to obviously look forward for a different, completely different paradigm, completely different way of doing business and branch banking, or whatever digital or whatever digital channels have been married with branch banking, or whatever what we call as brick and mortar banking, that has to go away, and a new paradigm shift has to happen. Just like telephones, landline telephones were replaced by mobiles, first for the call, then first pagers came, then mobile came, and then it used to cost some 16 rupees to make a 1 hour call, and today if you buy a 500 rupees BSNL package for some 82 days, it would give you data, it would give you voice, it would give you everything under the earth. So I think SIDBI is the pioneer, and SIDBI has to take care of the sector. And I will just give you a very broad overview what we are trying to do for this for meeting this credit requirement. First thing is very clear that we'll have to have digital and automated lending platforms. I think some of the speakers mentioned here that they are on trial basis on digital platform and automated lending platforms. One thing is very clear that if you are not digital by tomorrow, you are dead by day after tomorrow. So that everyone has to recognize, and the pace at which startups are changing the digital lending scene. I am sure that very often that in a very short period of time, credit officers for MSME lending would be redundant. The decision would be made by machine, and everything would be done by the machine, and they would just be an interface between the borrower and the machine. When we say digital, it does not mean that you accept the application form in digital and then you take a printout and then start doing the appraisal and then again start asking for papers. I think papers, government has sort of created a digital economy where we have so much information available that papers actually may not be required. You want the balance sheet, you can pull the balance sheet from MCA. You want sort of charges, you can put from CESI. You want the income tax returns, you can ask them to upload their XML or the PDF, and then you have tools which can very quickly process that income tax return. You want their bank statement, they can give you PDF of bank statement, and again, you have tools in the market to which you can process this. So the roles of fintechs becomes very, very important, and banks would have to, banks currently are having a partnership with fintechs, but I feel that banks would have to change their mentality and they will have to become fintechs themselves, or they will have to have in-house expertise or in-house disruptive expertise to make use of, realize this lending opportunity. I think two things which are very important. One is OCEN, which is known as Open Credit Enhancement Network, which is basically a democratic setup to increase flow of credit, and account aggregators, which are coming up in a big way in the economy, and two banks have already signed up on account aggregator framework. I think that would come up. What would also happen is that there would aggregator model will also have to happen. Whatever currently PSB 59, which was promoted and which was incubated by SIDBI in its building, or in its sort of a lot of manpower was devoted by us to get the OPL model up and running, and show it as a proof of concept, and then Today, I think lakhs and lakhs of cases are processed for in-principle approval. And OPL and Udyami Mitra platform, which is another platform, would have to be married, and we'll have to use the data which is coming from Udyam platform, or URC, what is called today Udyam Registration Certificate. Digital financial profiling would have to be done of a large number of MSMEs using the database of government, using the database of banks, using the databases available in the market. And then they will have to be offered pre-approved credits. I think it's just like OPL has changed, just like first, I think the change which happened to the Stand Up India portal, where an applicant could apply, and there was and banks could make offer to them. So far, what used to happen is that banks used to, sort of applicant used to visit the bank and then request bank. Here, democratization, what happened that entrepreneur used to apply for financial assistance, and then banks used to bid, and they had the choice to select. Entrepreneur had the choice to select bank. Similarly, using digital financial profiling, a day is going to come, and SIDBI is working on it, where pre-approved credit lines would be given to MSMEs, and then they would be able to avail those lines, or the financial profile of MSMEs would be made available to banks, and then they can very easily complete the lending process. I think very soon the balance of power is going to shift from banks to MSMEs. Again, if you link it to TREDS, government is TREDS is again something which is very, very important, and all of us know that government has said that all PSUs, all CPSUs above 500 crores turnover have to be registered on TREDS, and I can assure that many more regulatory guidelines are coming. We are in touch with various ministries, including Ministry of Defense as well as RBI, that while PSUs are registering on TREDS platform, but they are not discounting the bill. So that is also going to change, and very soon it is going to be MSME to MSME discounting is also going to be allowed on the TREDS platform. That is also being done. So what is our agenda? Our agenda is that the agenda that the country needs is that we need to formalize the 6 crore MSMEs. We have almost 6.3 crore MSMEs. They need to be formalized, and for formalization, Udyam platform is there, and they have to come, and the kind of data which is being collected on the Udyam platform, I am sure that very soon even some of the state level approvals would go on the Udyam Mitra on the Udyam platform, and MSMEs would not have to comply with many of the state regulations. I think one more thing is there, that whenever we look at the unorganized sector MSMEs, we always feel that whether the accounts are good enough, or whether the accounts are true, or whether the accounts do not represent a true picture, or something else is there at ground and something else has been presented to the bank. While in the case of limited companies, in the case of companies paying GST, it's very easy to verify now. But for the true unorganized sector, for the true rural enterprise, for the true MSME sector, this is still not possible. But it can be made possible if we have websites, if we have fintechs, if we have tools available, which MSMEs can use, for the putting their accounts, or for generating their accounts, or for their day-to-day accounts preparation. If that happens, they can grant permission to anyone to access their accounts, and then the banker issue, and the banker can lend, and MSME also can shop around because his accounts are now certified. I think these are some of the changes which would require to be made. Another thing which is very important is that incubation culture, or the disruptive entrepreneurship culture, also needs to be promoted. And what we also need is that if an entrepreneur has failed, I think entrepreneurships in sort of many of the enterprises, or many of the world-class enterprises which have come, I think first they failed, and then those entrepreneurs remodeled their business, and then they sort of became successful. So it's also very a policy imperative which has come is that exit strategies have to be clear for these enterprises, And subsequently, if they fail, they should be given a second chance. I think it should not happen that their name comes in civil and then they are barred forever. I think that kind of different thinking has to come in the regulation, and that apart from regulation, that kind of thinking also has to come in the mind of banks. I'm sure that while banks are the sort of doing a lot for the MSME sector, and they have wholeheartedly embraced whatever ECLGS has come or whatever restructuring has come. But they need to look beyond this, and they need to look that how sort of they need to look into the future, and they need to plan for the future. And my suggestion to the banks and to the entrepreneurs would be that be tech savvy. Banks will have to become fintechs. Banks will have to adopt fintechs. It is not that they will. Currently, they are dependent upon fintechs and they are showcasing many things. But end-to-end digital lending is something which banks will have to maintain, which banks will have to manage, and banks will have to understand. Like banks understand credit to MSMEs, bank understand credit to agriculture, they understand credit to corporates like the back of their hand, and in maybe 10 minutes they can go through a balance sheet and point out its strong points or point out its weak points. Similarly, they'll have to sort of embrace digitalization also in a much better fashion, in a much better way. Thank you. These are some of the thoughts which I wanted to share.
Thank you very much, Malhotra Sahab. It's very interesting and very useful information. I would like to bring one matter in your question or understanding how this can be resolved. Most of the entrepreneurs, because we have received around 120 questions, in that 10 questions are collateral free loans for the MSE, which is major CDB is focusing more on the encouraging more members, those they can put efforts for giving. In various banks in out of city, major cities, each branch of manager is asking for a collateral first. How much collateral you have? Even though SME sector, when they approach for a collateral free loan. So that is a major issue is coming up. When entrepreneurs said, no, we don't have a collateral, I want to go for a collateral free loan, but then I will decide whether I can give you collateral free loan or not. So how you are looking at this point of view? Because your SBI is putting efforts, Indian Bank is putting efforts, and UBI is also putting efforts to distribute collateral for, but some bankers are not doing it. How we can resolve this matter?
It is a very, very pertinent question, and all of you know that CGTMSE, which is Credit Guarantee Trust for Micro and Small Enterprises, was set up by Ministry of MoMSME and SIDBI almost 2 decades ago, and it has guaranteed loans worth almost 2.5 lakh crores. Apart from this, there is also another guarantee company which is again under the administrative control of SIDBI, which is called National Credit Guarantee Trustee Company, NCGTC, which is also operating various schemes of various ministries, whether it is education loan guarantee or it is whether housing loan guarantee. Now, all of you know that ECLGS guarantee is also being routed through them only, so suddenly they are sort of known. I think it's more of a, we have always seen that it is more of a sensitization issue of the branch managers and relationship managers. I think we all, and the sensitization has to be done as under that we have to understand what is more beneficial for me, whether to take a collateral in the form of a house or take a collateral from Government of India. What is credit guarantee? It is a collateral from Government of India. Suppose the account goes bad, suppose the account becomes NPA, you will have to sell the house, and first you will have to take possession under SARFAESI, then you will have to approach authorities for allowing you to take possession, then sell the house. If the value is taken at maybe 50 lakh rupees, the house in distress sale in bank auction will go for only 30 lakh rupees. As such, value of real estate is down. As against that, you have a credit guarantee. If you are giving a 50 lakh loan, 75% of that or 50% of that can be guaranteed. And as soon as default is there, you can recover 75% of that, and balance 25% you can recover when the recovery proceedings are completed. And over the period of time, CGTMSE has also simplified its guidelines with regard to recovery. So while the government can provide tools and SIDBI can implement those tools, I think somewhere we need to invest more in the training of our field level staff in terms of training the branch manager, sensitizing the branch manager, training the officers in scale 1, 2, and 3 that see what is more beneficial for you. So I mean, it's while progress has happened, but again, as I said, a lot of again, as everyone said, that lot of ground has to be covered. So it's the balance part is sensitization and balance part is training.
Okay. Another question and a counter question is there. When the collateral free loan under CGTSME we are taking, why banks are asking personal guarantee also? Kharat sir, this is a very interesting question. We should focus on. We should emphasize on this. Why the banks are asking personal guarantee from the owners or partners?
So I would look at it from a different perspective that if my intentions are good. After all, what we see is MSME is owner driven business, family driven business. There is no outside equity. Owner manages the business. I think if my intentions are clear, I should not have any sort of inhibitions in giving personal guarantee to my banker, because at the end of the day, I want to pay the bank's loan because bank has supported me at the most time when I needed the funds. I think the issue which I flagged also, that we need to recognize failure. Right? Personal guarantee can be given and there would be, let us say, there would be 5% failure in MSMEs or there would be 3% failure in MSMEs. I think we need to give the entrepreneurs a second chance also. I think that's what we need to recognize failure, and
But
we
it's
need
a
to
compulsory or it's not a compulsory?
if you are taking credit guarantee, the bar only exists on taking third party guarantees. You cannot take third party guarantees, but there is no bar on taking personal guarantee of the promoters or promoters.
Bank insists personal guarantee then?
I think if the bank is insisting personal guarantee, again the question comes that I mean,
proposal.
Yes, what is the issue in giving personal guarantee if my sort of one may want to keep the house free or one may want to keep everything free. I think there should not be any issue in giving a personal guarantee, especially in MSME entrepreneurs, which where very often the difference or the dividing line between personal finances and business finances is very thin. We all need to recognize that if you look at the sort of bank statement of an MSME, you would often realize, and bankers like Mr. Sudhakar Rao and veteran retired bankers like Kishore, you can say that if you look at their bank statements, one thing comes out very clearly, that the personal finances and business finances very often mingle.
Okay.
And if they are mingling, then I don't think that anyone should have any objection in giving personal guarantee. And banks often allow that also, unless it reaches unacceptable levels of sort of mingling of personal and business finances.
Okay. Kharat sir, there is a two very important questions arises from the members' point of view, and a lot of members are pursuing this. They said, we are a small entrepreneurs. Rao sahab, aap bhi dhyan se suniye this carefully. We are a small entrepreneurs or a SME entrepreneurs or MSME entrepreneurs. If I'm having turnover 50 crore, 100 crore or 250 crore up to, the government recognizes as a MSME sector. But looking at the 25 crore loan, up to 25 crore loan, which is a cap, recognized by the RBI, particularly for say like understanding the role of SME sector. There is two things. One is a willful defaulter, because MSMEs are totally dependent on their own business. Okay, they are buying car from that money which they are taking loan from bank. They are giving the installment for the credit card or their whatever the loan they are taken. They are taking some any other item or any other product through that bank, because they don't have 10 accounts or 10 different sources, like a Vijay Mallya is having different hands. So like that there is no SME sector is having that. So we have to focus, and we have to suggest the banker that how they can recognize and define the willful defaulter of particularly small and tiny entrepreneurs. medium size, we can think about, they have some different type of thoughts. But there we have to write to the RBI, particularly the creating the system, or creating the awareness amongst SME sector. And second is the personal guarantee. Most of the MSMEs in India, they are reluctant to give personal guarantee. That also we have to address this issue. Do you want to say something on this matter? Please unmute.
Malhotra has already, clarified why personal guarantee is required. And I, as a banker, if I put my banker's hat again, I will say that if you are a confident of our business, you should not actually shy away from giving the personal guarantee. Personal guarantee gives a bit of comfort to the bankers, saying that yes, you are putting your stake there, because uh, we are always lending more than your stake, more than MSME stake. If you are having your contributions, let's say under certain schemes 15%, or by and large 25%, then 75% money is actually given by the lender. And therefore, when lender is giving money, and if you say, for even if I am taking, my contribution is 25%, I am giving my personal guarantee, that shows your own commitment and your own confidence levels in the business. So that one should not shy away from giving personal guarantees. And recently, if you look at the even large corporate, the way Supreme Court has actually come out with the judgments and their observations about personal guarantees, I think the bankers also will keep on now insisting for the personal guarantees. But as I said, that gives a different comfort when we are doing the assessment. If somebody is saying, no, I will not give personal guarantee, that means there is he is not committed to his own business, number one. You said about the willful defaulters and all. There I will again say that, see, during this pandemic, this is unprecedented period. Nobody has seen this kind of period in our life, at least the living people who are there, because this is more than a century ago, perhaps this must have come. What is the special thing about this particular pandemic is it has impacted every and each individual, everybody's life, everybody's businesses, not only in town, but districts, talukas, districts, states, your nations, and worldwide. Nobody is spared out of this one. So during this pandemic, what we have learned is we have learned to relook in the way we are living. If that we have learned, then the institutions, regulators, and lenders also need to relook into the existing criteria. I will say, for declaring somebody as a willful defaulter. If we say the existing criteria of willful defaulter are to be applied, then just now Mr. Sudhakar Rao was saying they have removed from their assessment the year 2021. That's a wonderful wonderful thing they have done. Similarly, if somebody has to be declared as a willful defaulter, for that this entire period of pandemic, when people are affected, and not only this period but recovery period also, I will say there has to be a different look altogether. The lenders have to look it differently. During this pandemic, if somebody is not able to pay back, then he should not be branded as a willful defaulter unless you have very concrete rather proofs saying that he had the cash flows which he has diverted instead of paying back to the back to bank. In those cases only. But in general, we'll have to relook into all the criteria till we are actually, all of us are coming out of this pandemic. Not only the pandemic goes, third wave goes, fourth wave goes, but the recovery period which I am talking, it is going to take at least 2 years for MSMEs to get back into their proper shape.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your clarification. But rather, we should take up this matter to the concern level, and also the cash flow lending. Also, we have to take, because the UK's SINA committee has already recommended to government and particularly banking sector that banks should focus for the cash flow lending. So Sudhakar Rao ji, I'm coming back to you now again. That there is a one question arises from the one of my member. As per the Indian Bank in a DP calculation, receivables up to 1 year, but what about the MSME payable amount which play an important role in the drawing power? is payable amount exempted from the stock statement in this pandemic?
No, DP will be calculated based on the stock and the receivables. Stock, whatever stock is available, stock means it should be usable stock. See, some absolute stock may be there that cannot be counted. So whatever stock is raw material, stock means normally either raw material or finished goods. So raw material which can be usable, that only will be taken into account. Similarly, finished goods also. For this period is not a criteria. See, if it is available, if it is usable.
One minute, Sudhakar. Sudhakar, 1 minute. Sorry to interrupt you. I think the question, the person who is asking, he is talking about the unpaid stock. Suppose he has brought the unpaid stock and he has to pay for that stock. Whether you will reduce from your DP,
Yes.
the payable stores that one. That is the clarification they want.
Yes, sir. While arriving the DP, the creditors will be reduced and accordingly DP will be calculated.
Okay, good.
So
So let's.
only will be taken into account for arriving the DP.
Okay. So this is the bank's policy.
Yes, I think
good.
all banks also will follow the same policy.
Okay, good. So whatever the suggestion and whatever the announcement you have done, Sudhakar Rauji, that we will be pursuing with our members also, and a lot of members of the Indian Bank and Allahabad Bank, our members. So then we can convey them, because most of the MSMEs are not aware about what are the facility made by the bank or the regulatory bodies. So I suggest you share the information by email, so that we can, because see, when we create some food, the people should be there to eat the food, and or this food will be wasted. So thought, we have to, when we have a thought, so we have to distribute that thought. So ultimately our focus is main. You are empowering SMEs, we are empowering SMEs, we are supporting SMEs, you are also supporting, you are providing fuel, we are providing knowledge and education and hand holding. So this way we can work together, we can handhold together all the banks. And I'm sure that SIDBI or SBI or Indian Bank or UBI, all the banks are putting efforts for the growth of SME sector, and I'm sure that all the banks should take advantage. So now finally I would like to invite Dr. Sinha
One small,
to say the closing.
small thing.
Yes.
You are thinking about, you are referring cash flow based lending. So for that also we have started one product called GST, IBGST, IndGST. Based on the GST return turnover, we will be lending to him 20% of it. Whatever
20%.
every quarter, yes, last year whatever is the GST return sales, in that 20% will be given directly without any assessment or anything, just based on the turnover. Of course, we put some ceiling up to 50 lakhs only we are giving as of now. Slowly we will be increasing the limit.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for the information, Dr. Sinha.
And now the Reserve Bank of India has come out some regulatory guidelines that lending bank, whoever is having lending facilities with one bank, they should not open their current account, business current accounts with another bank. That has to be strictly followed, and that can be, I think, through your association, please sensitize to all the members. And now we are writing letters also to all the other banks to close those accounts.
Okay, that will be great, because one bank, one account.
Yes.
One bank, one account.
Lending, where they are taking loan.
Yes.
Deposit you can have with a number of banks, no issue. When you are taking loan from one bank, business loan.
So operation will be on from that bank only.
Yes. That is the now. Earlier, these are all we were insisting from financial discipline, but now it has come from the regulator. Reserve Bank of India has issued the guidelines also. Everybody has to follow that.
Okay. Good. So thank you, Dr. Sinha. Can you mute, please? Unmute, please. You are on mute.
Am I audible now?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Salunke. In fact, because of my passion for MSMEs, after immediately Bombay Chamber of Commerce meeting, I joined here. Now I was listening to eminent speakers and Mr. Vinod Rai and Shri Kharat, a very senior colleague of ours, Mr. Sudhakar Rao, and also Mr. Vivek Malhotra. Now, MSMEs, yeah, the number being even the old record, which we have 2015-16 survey, national survey, the data which is quoted even in MSME ministry, that's 6.33 crore MSMEs. And out of that, 6 crores are micro enterprises. Now, bankers, in fact, in current pandemic, they have big challenges. They have been doing, stretching out to the best, but nonetheless, the challenge remains. And I was looking at 5 to 10 years data of banks. So here I found that even say private sector banks, leading one, they had 400% growth of total credit. But coming to the SME, MSME growth, it was say half at the rate, the total credit. In some cases, it was 40%. So obviously, it, in my opinion, say the driving force for private sector lending, which the bank have got 40%. Now, similarly for micro enterprise, it has been given a 7.5%. I'm looking forward that if we want to give a boost, it should be in double-digit number. And also for small enterprises, there should be some sort of benchmarking in our priority sector lending also. That will be a driving force. Now, quite interesting things, Mr. Sudhankar Rao, I came across, like this vernacular language, reaching out to MSMEs. Yes, a very important initiative. I really appreciate it. Then also the initiative for startups. See, we know, going by our records of defaulters, that even the best of financial ratios which we have appraised over, the default comes there. But the ones where the capabilities is there, competency is there, the cash flow is there. So we need to encourage. So reaching out to say IITs and others for getting a startup proposal where the caliber is there, and really they can be wonderful proposals. So a very good initiative. I really appreciate. Now, as far as the government emergency credit line is there, to my assessment, that has been the most important driving force for giving relief for MSMEs. Now, again, many versions as has been talked, 1, 2, 3, 4 have come, and now even the cap has been removed. But already about 2.5 lakh crore, this achievement has been there. Now, since the upper cap has been removed, for the loan amount, earlier it was 500 crore, now that has also been removed. So in my lookout, there will be further requirements. And secondly, its date has to be extended at least up to 31st March 2021, and maybe beyond that also, looking how this pandemic and the third wave which we are talking is going to be there. So I'm sure that RBI has been proactive on this part and they will be responding to that. Now, some of the points which like Mr. Rai was mentioning, that there are initiatives, TREADS initiative is there, a very good initiative. But 500 crore turnover, all companies have to be brought. All central public enterprises have to be brought. Now it has been identified that there are about 4,500 plus companies, but the onboarding has been, as per latest data, only 1,400 plus. So a lot of push is required for that. Also, the receivable challenge which the MSME ministry is trying to address through Samadhan initiative. Now, progress is there, but looking to the number of cases itself, and such instances are by and large many, the progress which I am looking needs a lot of push, lot of efforts. I think this requires to be strengthened, and the initiative is very good, no doubt about it. So another thing that for getting the various benefits, this Udyog Aadhar onboarding by MSMEs is very important. Now, since the new definition has come from last year, upward revision has been there, that has been a very good step for modernization of plants machinery by MSMEs and still retaining their MSME status. But the registration status, if we look even the earlier one, it was about 10% of the total number of MSMEs. Here also, the push has to be there. And for this purpose, I think the developmental institutes of MSMEs, which are located at different centers, they have to play key role for that in reaching out to various associations.
Yes, Dr.
Because
Sinha, let me tell you that we are focusing more on encouraging SMEs. And I suggest all the bankers should insist every entrepreneur to do Udyam registration. Udyam
Yes.
registration is giving the visibility of the any other. Currently, there is, I think, 85 lakh companies registered only in 7 crore. So we are encouraging, and the SIDBI, and we are now planning to do some different type of activities. Rather, I had a discussion last 10 days ago with the chairman also. So we can take up that matter. And I think, bankers are playing very, very important role.
Yes,
Ajay Singh,
yes.
if you are there, just, you can, on the video, we are closing now. The bankers are playing very important role. So I always say that without SME, India will not grow. And without bankers, SME will not grow. So we are the pillar of the Indian economy. And I'm worried about the bank privatization of bank. Rather, Mr. Kharat, I will speak to you later on privately on this matter. Whether this privatization, after the privatization, whether these banks will give importance to the SME sector, because now government is giving you target. Government is insisting you for providing the value addition support for the particularly SME growth. This is a very, very thinking issue we have to take forward. And of course, the private banks also playing very important. Private banks also supporting SMEs, but not like the PSB bank. PSB bank is thinking that this is my SME, this is my company. Means they feel that the owner sitting in front of them, they are encouraging them purposely. When I met KC Chakravarti, I think he was even the chairman of your Indian Bank also. And he said, when I'm sitting as a branch manager, if I'm sitting in front of any entrepreneur who is visited my branch for a loan, I should think that this is a future Birla or Ambani, and I should start helping them to grow more. Look at their requirement, look at their interest, and look at their growth path where I can support them. So anyway, thank you very much for all of you to sharing your thoughts. And I'm sure that the banking platform and SME platform definitely will all the stakeholders together for the SME perspective. And I want to give assurance to all the MSME sector that if you have a proper proposal, take advice, take a guidance from the professionals, make a proper proposal, make a proper viable proposal, and make a proposal which can investor can give you more confidence that yes, I'm going to invest. Particularly use your best business ethics, adopt good governance, showcase properly your documents, showcase properly your business activity, and I'm sure that attraction towards your business investor definitely will come. With these words, I'm thankful to all of you, and take care, be healthy, because all the banks should make all MSME sector wealthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kara sir. Thank you, Malhotra ji, Sinha sir, Ajay Singh, Singh sir, Sudhakar Rao ji. Thank you very much. Let's be in touch.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Ajay
you.
Singh,
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sudhakar,
Thank you.
thank you so much.